Afternoon, Kyle. And I have to say, I've had a lot of these practice promo sessions with our upcoming conference presenters, but I'm very much excited for yours because you and I have been chatting regularly on Monday mornings, but I haven't seen you in a few weeks. You've been really busy.
Well, you were also doing your own traveling before that.
Yeah, I
so,
was out to Denver. I take the blame for a few of those weeks as well.
yeah, it'd be good to catch up. It'd be good to help establish what we're kind of talking about in the fall, because that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
And I'm excited to introduce you to everyone else right now. So, for everyone who hasn't seen you speak at CBP before, one of our panels, who are you and what do you do in the industry?
So, I'm a kind of like a gun for hire in Canada. I specialize in the technical sides of the brewing industry. So my background is in chemical engineering, and I'm a master's candidate at Heriot-Watt. So I know a little bit about everything. And that's kind of why sometimes I get hired to teach courses by both Niagara College and through the federal government programs. So I do a little bit of help everywhere, and I kind of just help people reevaluate their process and reevaluate how they make beer, because if you're not used to a production type mentality, it's really easy to get lost in the small intricacies of making beer, and there's a lot of savings with money in terms if you just take a step back and look at how you're doing the whole process.
Agreed. And what are you going to be talking about at the upcoming conference?
So, well, in the middle of the COVID pandemic, the Canadian government basically said breweries are more or less the same on a similar level to food manufacturers in terms of a lot of smaller things. So I'm trying to work with some food grade suppliers to help kind of bring up their services to the brewing industry. And as well, I'm trying to educate the brewing industry on how they can be legally compliant with these new legislatures. So we're going to talk about why the change. This is also very similar to the FDA in the United States. While there's not anything formalized in the American market, at some point or another, a lot of these types of laws are going to be applied just in order to prevent consumer criticisms, problems in the marketplace. We all don't want exploding cans on shelves, and this is basically what those rules are going to help establish.
And what's the name of your session?
Oh, what did I call it? It was basically, it's mise en place mise en place sounds like lessons from the kitchen to the brewery. So a bartender, a chef, any well-prepared front of house type environment will rely on these methods so that it's like, no, everything has its place, everything is where it needs to be. And like a high-end restaurant will use it. They will use these sort of tools and techniques. Cocktail bars use similar strategies. And I'm basically saying, hey, let's borrow these strategies from the food sector and apply them to a brewery so that when it's brew day, everything goes as best as possible. So we're spending as little time as possible just with the small frustrating things every day, so that you're not always looking for the same tools at 10 or 15 minutes at a time. You're not always looking to figure out where your ingredients are. Doing small things like that can really help reduce the amount of time on a production day.
No, that sounds fantastic. And that's a French term, correct?
Yeah, but it's well known enough that I think everyone should be able to use it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing all that. I'm excited for the chat as always. You gave a fantastic chat last conference on all flavors, which I think was really well received. So I'm sure your upcoming chat will be something that a lot of brewers enjoy. It's a really important topic right now, as you kind of talked about earlier. But Kyle, as always, I appreciate you. Look forward to seeing you soon, and have a great rest of the day.
You too. Cheers, Andrew.